Okay, we are live. There. Hello. Oh, almost exactly on time. Good morning. I'm Rabbi Brian. This is the Saturday service. There it says so. Today is March the 2nd, 2024. I'm joined. You guys ready at the wave?
Yep.
Let's see if I got this right. I'm going to do this keystroke. There's the people. Wave hello, people. And I'm also joined by people on Facebook. If people on Facebook would shoot out a comment, we'll be able to see that. And I'm going to ask, our friend Jo is nursing wounds and taking care of her beloved Ken today. And she usually runs the chat on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, our esteemed friend Jo is not there. And I'll ask any of you who are able to be on Facebook and Zoom at the same time, please populate the chat. There we go. Hi, Stacy. There we go. Stacy says hi. So Facebook's a little bit without our regular Jo holding on to the reins. Oh, I was about to say something else about that. Oh, Facebook people. Last week, I need to apologize. Now, last week, there was an audio issue because I was doing this from a away computer. And hello, Yolanda. So glad to see you are here. And then we have somebody else on Facebook who has not clicked the permission setting, so it just comes off as Facebook user. And that's fine. I'm glad you're here. I wanted to apologize last week. Chad and Lisa are in both spots. Good job, Chad and Lisa. Are you guys also on Twitch? You're also on Twitch. Okay, bonus points to anyone on Twitch. Let me go back to apologize to the Facebook folk. The audio last week only was of me, and I had not realized that I didn't connect in the audio of the people on Facebook. If you're on Facebook and the audio is not working, please let me know, and I should be able to fix something. So I apologize, Facebook friends. Okay, I'm going to take a moment and just look at all the faces on the screens. Hello, faces on the screens. It's good to see you. I'm glad you guys are all here. And let me scroll to page number 2 because we got more than one page of the people. Oh, hello, people on page number 2. I'm Marilyn and Gord and Meg and Ann, Betsy, Steve, Jordan. Glad to see you. Hi, Ray. Glad you all are here. And anyone else who's still joining. If you put up your electric hand, if you're welcome to participate. If this is your first time here, you wouldn't know, but we do try to keep people's microphones unmuted so that we can hear from people. If I don't see you, shout out, interrupt, make a little noise so I know that you're here. Anyone know what this is?
Daffodil.
Daffodils. Anyone know whose daffodils they are?
It must be yours.
They are mine because I'm sharing them, but this is a picture from our friend Emily because she said that she had daffodils in her, and I said, Emily, if there's no picture, it didn't happen, and I promptly got this picture from Emily to let us know that spring is trying to be here. That being said, this is great. I have an outline of all of these things in front of me, and any follow-ups from last week before we get into related things? Anyone have a thing? Anything burning on your heart? No? Okay. In that case, let's see where this goes. Maria, thank you for minding the chat on the Zoom. Appreciate that. Oh, gonna start us with this, back to this idea. This is where we started last week, and we'll see where we go from this week. There's this idea, there's this quote from Irving Becker, and the quote says, if you dislike someone, the way they hold their spoon will offend you. But if you like them, they could drop a plate of food in your lap and you wouldn't mind. It's a great quote. Irving Becker said, if you dislike someone, everything they do is going to piss you off. But if you like the person, you're going to forgive them for anything that they do. How absolutely true is that? how true it is that I like Emily. She sent me a picture of flowers, I'm going to like it. If I didn't like Emily, she sent me a picture of flowers and I might think, what the hell's wrong with her? Why is she sending me a picture of flowers? The implication is that if things annoy me based on how much I like the other person, if I like the other person, I'm not going to be as annoyed. Right? So, can I game the system? And I guess the question is, can you game the system, and how well have you done at gaming the system? And give me some of your experience with it. The more I think, oh my God, my children are annoying, the more my children are going to annoy me. But the more I get it in my head that I like them and I'm charmed by them, the more what they do is going to be charming and likable. What's been your experience with this? Have you found that people can be more... Let me add in one other piece. A spiritual barometer. Depending on how I'm feeling in the day, you are going to be either more or less annoying to me, depending on how I am today. You might have seen this. I don't know. We've looked at this for a little bit. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired, sick. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired, sick. If I'm hungry, angry, lonely, tired, or sick, my children are going to annoy me more. The more that I like them, this is physiological. Not much I can do. I can feed myself. I can take a nap. I can hang around other people. I can do these things. I can mitigate against. Can you just like someone enough that can you like the world enough that you're not annoyed by the world? Go ahead, Janet.
I've been talking to other people about something very similar to this, about how we can take care of somebody else. Like, I was taking care of my parents, and I have a friend who just came by to borrow one of our Ring cameras because her dad is dying, and she's taking care of him.
Mm-hmm.
And how things that happen and things that they do that, when they were healthy and when they were fine, might have annoyed you. Now it's just you're okay with it. You're helping. You're doing things that you couldn't even imagine doing before, because you love them.
Yeah.
And because you're accepting the fact that they're at this point. It's difficult as all hell, but you're managing to go through things and going through it with acceptance and love.
Yeah. And they're not doing anything differently, but everything's different.
Yes. Absolutely.
Go ahead, John. And then I'm going to ask you guys to help. Let's reverse engineer and figure out what are the things we can do so that we like people more, so that we can be less annoyed. Go ahead, John.
When you put Holtz and then indicated what the letters stood for, what came to my mind was Maslow.
Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Exactly. All those would go, I think, in the bottom level, or the bottom, maybe a little bit into the second level, so that if we have those needs, okay, if they're not being met, then we're a long way from the top of being unconditionally loving.
Can I hold on 1 second, John? A question: is the video frozen over in the little box here?
Yeah.
Is it moving, or we're frozen?
Yeah, it's frozen.
Okay, well. Remember before when I fixed that? Okay, so look, there's Janet. It's moving, and then it
Right.
freezes.
Now it's moving again, it looks like. It's just men.
Is it moving?
Touche.
All right. There was another hand up. Dolly, you had something you wanted to add in, and thank you for joining us.
Oh, I'm very glad to be here. That is the exact experience I'm having with my staff. I absolutely love one, and she can do no wrong, and the other, I just constantly struggle with.
Right.
And the more I struggle with it, the worse it gets. So since last Saturday, in my shift to try and do for every one critical thing I do, have 4 nice things. I've been trying to get into the mindset of, so how do I shift it?
Yeah.
How do you break that pattern? How do you go from, as Janet said, from a place of being annoyed to a place of, coming more from a place of love? And that's what I've been struggling with all week.
I'm going to
trying
do a little
find
review so that everybody who wasn't what you're talking about knows what you're talking about. There's this idea of a 4-to-1 ratio, and that we try to do 4 positive, and they don't have to be positive or neutral comments for every 1 criticism or adjustment. Critical.
Yeah.
And how do we do that? Somebody here's got to have some experience of figuring out how to like someone that they don't like. How do you go about changing your mind that, you know what, I'm going to like that person no matter what? Carol?
I actually pray about it.
Okay.
And it actually works, because I can't force myself to like someone who has irritated me for many years, but I can ask God to change me, and it works. And why am I frozen again? On the screen behind you.
Yeah, I don't know. All I'm able to do is I can just put somebody up for a second, and then it freezes. So I put your face up for a moment.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Carol, you're saying it's not something you can do, but if you give
I
it
pray
to
about it.
God to
I
do.
can't by willpower alone make myself open to somebody I don't like, but I can pray that I be changed.
And that seems to work.
Yes.
Okay, that's fantastic. Al, you have a similar or different experience? How do you do this? How do you like someone you don't like? How do you not get annoyed by that person who's been annoying you for so long? Or answer whatever question it was you were about to answer.
No, I was just going to say that although I can't say that this works all the time, a first step for me is to get curious about what makes that person so annoying to me. Because I recognize that person being annoying isn't just about them, it's about me.
Oh. That reminds me of a great quote from, my brain is not going at the speed it used to. It was a great quote by Orson. No, it wasn't by Orson Welles. It was a great quote by somebody who said, moral indignation, watch this, moral indignation is often jealousy with a halo. H.G. Wells, that's who said that. Moral indignation, so being angry at somebody, often if we get really curious about why we're angry at someone, we'll find out that we're actually jealous because they're doing something we can't do. They're slacking off, and we're taking the project seriously, and we're slightly jealous about them. So a first step might be to be curious. Be curious, why am I so angry at that person? Go ahead, Janet.
So this is, so it's kind of convoluted but related. Forgiveness was the thing that I had to do. I mean, it's obvious that, if you had somebody who really wronged you, you're going to have a hard time forgiving them. But when I was dealing with the abstract, because this person was never caught, the person who murdered my sister, I had to, I was carrying around all this weight.
Yeah.
All this anger and all this, frustration and just stuff that I couldn't even define until I started doing meditations on forgiveness. And then I realized it released me from all this stuff that was making it hard for me in the world.
Yeah.
On, just to exist, not just in dealing with this person, this abstract person who was never captured,
That's
but
amazing,
it
Janet.
was, that was the thing.
There's a quote from Robert Brault who said, "It is amazing how much lighter we feel when we accept the apology of the person who never gave it."
Yeah.
Mm.
It's amazing how much lighter we can feel when we accept the apology. Try that for a moment. You know that person who did that thing and it really annoyed you? Can you imagine? All we're doing is we're playing with imagination. There's a thought experiment. Can you imagine right this moment? Oh my gosh, I forgot. They apologized. Can you believe that for a second? That's a weird tall order, isn't it?
Mm.
Go ahead, Ron.
Janet's, past reminds me of my old friend Rocky Garrison's. He's a child psychologist, and his saying was, "Forgiveness is giving up all hope of a better past."
Amen. Forgiveness is giving up the hope of a better past.
Mm.
I'm going to bring a quote to us, Shantideva quote. Shantideva was an 8th century monk in India, and we're going to work this quote through together. You guys ready? I'm going to read it, and then we're going to try to translate it into our own language. Let me read it first. Unruly beings are as limited as space. Unruly. Can you guys make out the words there? Is it big enough?
You forgot un.
Unruly beings are as unlimited as space. All right. All right. What does that mean? Assholes are everywhere and they're not stopping. There's an infinite supply of assholes. But if I overcome through anger, but if I overcome through, hold on. But if I overcome thoughts of anger alone, this would be equivalent to vanquishing all foes. But if I overcome thoughts of anger alone, this will be equivalent to vanishing all those foes. So let me start at the beginning of the sentence again. Assholes are everywhere. You cannot possibly deal with the world enough to free yourselves from assholes. They're always going to be assholes. But if I overcome thoughts of anger, if I cannot be pissed off at the assholes, this is the equivalent of getting rid of all of them. There is an infinite number of assholes, but if I cannot get angry at them, not saying that we have to accept and approve what they do, but we don't have to get angry at them. We don't have to add hatred to the situation. If I don't add hatred to the situation, Shantideva is saying, I can overcome these foes. Where would I possibly find enough leather with which to cover the surface of the earth? I go outside, I don't have shoes on, I step on a sharp rock, I go, this sucks, somebody should put carpeting all over the world. This would be the equivalent of vanishing all foes. Where would I possibly find enough leather with which to cover the surface of the earth? I can't possibly cover the surface of the earth with leather enough. But wearing leather just on the soles of my shoes is the equivalent of covering the earth with it. You can't find enough carpeting to carpet the earth, but you can wear slippers. Let's start at the very beginning again. Assholes are everywhere. You can't possibly get rid of assholes. But if I'm not pissed off by the assholes, if I don't engage with the asshole, it's the equivalent of wearing slippers because I can't cover the whole earth with carpet. Likewise, it is not possible for me... Oh, wait, folks, I forgot about this. Look, I have a little arrow now to point with. Thank you very much. I was excited about that too. Okay, let's start at the beginning. Assholes are everywhere. We can't possibly overcome them. But I can overcome the thoughts. I can overcome my anger with them, and that's the equivalent of getting rid of the assholes. How do you get rid of assholes? If you love them enough, they're not assholes. I'm not saying you want to. You can have assholes in your life or not. It's your choice. If you love more people, they won't be assholes. I'll be with you in
Trying
a,
to think if you've gone a step too far.
Yeah.
it's possible.
Mhm.
If I overcome anger alone,
Yeah.
now is that being doing it oneself, or is that if I overcome just my anger?
Yes. It's the
Okay,
latter.
doesn't mean I have to love them, but if I can get rid of just my anger
Yeah.
and be neutral to them,
Fair.
I don't have to love them.
Okay. Have it your way. Sure.
And if you accept it,
Not the same as accepting them as they are.
Okay.
Just accept them the way they are.
Okay. We're gonna do a quick little. Rita, go ahead, Jeff, and then we're gonna talk about what this might mean. Go ahead, Rita.
Well, I have this quote. I don't remember who I got it from, but I keep it with me whenever I click to come into religion outside the box. It says, "Forgiveness is the ultimate freedom,"
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that's where I come from. You know, it's freeing me. I don't. It doesn't matter the other person; they're not going to change necessarily, but by forgiving, I am free from them.
Yes. Yes. Amen. Absolutely. You go ahead, Jeff. You can free yourself from assholes. Go ahead.
Just said,
Say again, Jeff. Sorry, I was talking.
piggyback on what Rita just said, people are not assholes unless you give them that name.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. They're not assholes if you don't find them to be assholes.
Right. And you don't, within yourself, if you can accept people because you're accepting, they are not assholes. Until they prove themselves as assholes, which is a different story.
Right. But
But
but let's say we have two people, one who's constantly finding fault and another who's not. The person who's constantly finding fault will find more assholes than the person who's more accepting. With two different people, one's going to have a smoother ride than the other. Chad and or Lisa.
This kind of reminds me of a little bit of something else. It reminds me of something I heard. It has to do with people can't get your goat if you don't have any.
Right.
Yeah.
People can't get your goat if you don't have any. Absolutely. Okay, I have two things that I wanted to add in. One, going back to if you just would accept them for who they are, if you would just understand them for who they are, if you would just respond to them for who they are. I think you might know what's coming at the beginning. If you might see them for who they are. That's love. You might not use the word love. I'm using the word love. Love means to see someone, to accept someone, to understand someone, and to respond to them. That is love. Go ahead, Carol. Oh, you're on mute, Carol.
I think that's all well and good for people you know. Leave out political figures. I think it's dangerous for you to accept them. Dangerous for you not to recognize that they are dangerous and potentially evil.
Perfect. And Ruth is Ruth on? Is Ruth here? I know I saw Ruth earlier because Ruth sent me an email about something really. There you are, Ruth. Ruth, you're on mute. Can you tell people what you emailed to me?
Basically, I said, hold on, Rabbi, let me get it up.
Okay.
I was disputing your statement. Right? Hold on. Basically, I said very much what Carol is saying, which is that I can't accept someone or people who are bent on destroying my life.
Right. I'm not saying that we accept them. We can be angry at them, we can be mad at them, we don't have to accept them, but we can accept the situation and not fight. This gets a little nuanced, and I'm afraid I'm not able to express this very well. A kid scribbles with crayon on your wall. You can rant and rave and be upset at the kid, or you can go, well, that's just what kids are going to do. You grab the Windex and a rag and you start trying to clean it up. Politicians and people who are bent on not doing what I think they should do, I think it's the same thing. Can I just approach them the way I would approach a 2.5-year-old with a box of crayons on my wall? Ranting and railing's not gonna do it. Gord, go ahead.
The thing that I have found for myself is accepting that everything that happens is in perfect working order.
Everything that happens is in perfect working order.
Is in perfect working order.
Okay, you have an amazing acceptance that I think we could all emulate. That's hard to do.
Very hard. You gotta keep working on it.
Right.
It's a lifetime job, you know.
Go.
Just stepping back and saying to yourself, I can't control this, and I really want to try and control it.
Right. Go ahead, Paula. Oh, I'm enjoying this very much. Thank you all. Go ahead, Paula.
I had a younger brother who unfortunately was an alcoholic. And for a long time, he was living like us. And I was angry every time he was drinking. And once I accepted that he was going to drink, and there was nothing I could do about it, it made my life a lot easier.
Yeah. Acceptance. Once you accept that this is how they are, you stop fighting.
And unfortunately, he drank himself to death, quite literally.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And it made it a little easier to accept that he did it, because I knew that was how he was.
Yeah.
And that other members of the family were guilty because they couldn't stop me. But I realized that it was going to happen.
It's a brave thing, Paula. And we free ourselves the more we accept the world as it is. Go ahead, Bob, and then Missy, then Carol.
There might be a difference between accepting the person and accepting their behavior.
There might be a difference between accepting the person and accepting their behavior. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Missy.
It was along the same lines of what Bob just said. In 12-step spirituality, we talk about the need to accept and forgive for our own sobriety and our own well-being. But we say, and I don't like the word need, because we all get to choose, but you need to love and accept everybody, but you don't have to take them to lunch.
I love that. You have to love and accept everyone. You don't have to take them for lunch. You don't have to bake cookies for your neighbor who's an asshole. You can. Go ahead, Carol.
4 years ago, my husband, who's a Holocaust survivor, said this is the way Hitler came into power.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there is no way on earth that I can accept, that I can ignore, that I am not going to be on guard, and that I am not going to really fear what's potential. I don't want to brush it off. I don't want to say he doesn't mean what he's saying. But if you look at what he's saying is precisely what he got out of reading
Absolutely.
Will to Power, or maybe someone read it to him.
Well, they made a picture book version of it. Yeah, it's a scary time. I'm not saying not to be scared. Maybe I'm talking about the little assholes in our lives, and let's start with those,
Fine.
the
I'll
ones that
start
we
with
can.
those, but not those who have power.
Yeah. Thank you,
I
Carol.
would say familiarity breeds contempt. So the people who bother you most are the people who are closest to you.
That's probably true. That is true. I know that. I have children. Harold, go ahead. Connie, I don't know which one of you. We can't hear you, Harold. Maybe Connie's doing a ventriloquist act. I don't know. No, we can't make it out. We can't make you out. Something's off on your audios there. Just keep. Yeah. So let me go back to this 4-to-1 notion. I don't know what I did with that card. The 4-to-1. Can we have 4 positive or neutral moments for every one criticism, or can we apply that to the world? Can I see the world and in my day try to go, oh wow, it's snow, as opposed to, fuck, it's snowing again. I'm done with this. Can I do 4 neutral, positive to neutral comments on the world for every one criticism or complaint? I want to go back to this quote and see if we can't get to the bottom of it. Assholes are everywhere. Unlimited servings of assholes for everyone. We can't overcome that. But if we can overcome our mental stance towards the assholes, that would be the equivalent of vanishing all foes. I can't find enough leather with which to cover the world, but I can cover my shoes. Likewise, it's not possible for me to restrain the external course of things. It is not possible for me to restrain the external course of things. I cannot control the world. I know some of you can, and that's fantastic. I can't. I cannot control the world. But I can restrain this mind of mine. What else would there be to constrain anything else? I can't control the world, but I can control my perception of it. Or at least I can influence that. So let me do that.
Well, good job in life.
We go ahead, Anne.
I cannot control the world, but maybe if we try to make some change and we invite others to join us to try to make some change, maybe the big we can make big changes in the world. If that is not true, then we should still be living in enslavement, with kidnapping Africans and enslaving them in our southern states. Then if that is not true, then women do not have the vote, etc.
We can make a change.
Yes, together people have changed the world.
Absolutely. I want us to bring to this quote from I sent out in the email. It is natural for the immature to harm others. Getting angry at them is like resenting fire for burning. It's natural for immatures to harm others. But getting angry at them, again, we have to, it doesn't mean we're supporting them. But coming at them with the heat that would be wasted on a 2.5-year-old who was just coloring. The kid, nobody would look at a 2.5-year-old who colors the wall with crayon and ascribe malintent to them. or we oughtn't. They're just coloring. They're in their own world. They're 2.5 years old. It's natural for the immature to harm others. That's just what they do. Getting angry at them is like resenting fire for burning. And it goes to what Anne was just saying. We can, if we collectively, that's, in ape cultures, there's the alpha biggest ape. And how does that ape who could beat the snot out of any ape who challenges them, how does that ape get taken down? It gets taken down by a group of other smaller apes who bond together and throw a coup. That's how it happens. The biggest person doesn't win. It's the person who can align the most support who wins. It's the people who align the most support who win. Okay.
Brian,
John?
is it possible, that whole thing about natural for the immature to harm others, can we qualify that a little bit by adding, like, when I first read it, it sounds purposeful. But what you're describing is, especially with the kid and the crayons,
Right.
there's no intent to harm. It may be natural for them to harm others without malice.
Right. But they didn't
But
intend to
I
harm.
would be really comfortable if that qualifier was added to that. Because so much harm is done with malice or with purpose.
Right, and that's, I think, what also gets to what Carol was talking about. There is an evil where people are causing harm intentionally, and that's a different level. Yeah.
I just would like to see the word unintentional in there around harm others somewhere.
So take a screenshot and then take a marker to the screen. I can't change this point. This is typed in.
No, I understand that.
Okay. Let's do a thing. Let's take a moment. I want to read a poem. For a moment, we're going to have a moment of gratitude, but I'm going to start it with this poem. There's the whole poem. It's called The Patience of Ordinary Things. It is a kind of love, is it not? How the cup holds the tea, how the chair stands sturdy and foursquare, how the floor receives the bottom of shoes or toes, how soles of the feet know where they're supposed to be. I've been thinking about the patience of ordinary things, how clothes wait respectfully in closets, and soap dries quickly in the dish, and towels drink the wet from the skin of the back, and the lovely repetition of stairs. And what is more generous than a window? Let's take a minute to think about the ordinary things that are waiting patiently, like our clothes in the closet, or with the generosity of a window. What's a thing, a simple thing, an ordinary thing, that if we look at it with this kind of love, we can see it as holy? So our gratitude minute today, raise your hand if you have one. Raise your electronic hand so I can put people in order. But just what's an ordinary thing? Let's take if you're new around here, we have been having the practice of taking a full minute to making sure in each service there's at least 1 minute of gratitude. So we can say religion outside the box with at least 1/60th of gratitude. So let's hear from a few people. What's an ordinary thing that we can have gratitude for? Go ahead, Missy. What do you have?
The cherry trees are in bloom in Charlotte, and they're beautiful.
Amen. Al, what do you know that's an ordinary thing that's of beauty?
The rising and setting of the sun.
Amen. Janet, what's an ordinary thing?
A mouse that helps guide me through my work.
It's an ordinary thing. Beautiful. I love that. Go ahead, Jeff.
Coffee.
Coffee. Yes, indeed. Jordan, what's an ordinary? And thank you, Jordan, for. I think, Jordan, can we see your reflection in this picture?
Yeah, if you look close.
If you look very close, it was on a poem in a mailbox. So, go ahead. What's an ordinary thing?
Jeff took mine. I was about to say coffee too.
Okay.
Yeah, find life and reason.
Wonderful, Dolly. What do you got?
The sound of rain on the tin roof.
Simple, an easy thing for which we can have gratitude. Go ahead, Bob.
The birds that stopped to eat the crab apples in my tree.
A beautiful thing. Yeah, Betsy, and then John.
The keys on my piano.
Amen. John?
The taste and smell of food.
Amen. Yeah, Betsy.
I don't think most of those things are ordinary. I think they're exquisite.
As long as we see them that way, they are. You're absolutely right. Go ahead, Jack.
This is sacred space-time.
Amen. Amen. Chad, Lisa?
The beautiful sunrise and sunsets we get to experience here in Oregon when the sky is clear.
Mm-hmm. Amen. Yeah. Ray? Ray, you're on mute.
Ray is muted.
Pictures of my beautiful wife.
Pictures of your beautiful wife for whom there's a celebration of life service happening later today. Amen. Yeah, Mason and Patricia.
I'd say friends.
Friends. A beautiful, patient, ordinary thing.
They have to be patient with me.
Wonderful. Well, thank you guys for taking we exceeded our minute, but what could be wrong with that? Let me move over to announcements. Hold on, I got a few announcements. I thought about it this way. It's something that we've talked about in the past, but I don't mention the word God frequently in this service. And I wanted it just to be I wanted to be loud about my lack of using the word God. Is that I'm pretty sure you got this point, but let me underline it and put it in bold here. You can have a full, beautiful, religious, spiritual life, and we can do these services, and we don't need to mention that word. And it can still be a beautiful, full, rich, religious, spiritual experience. And the more I'm thinking about it, and I'm doing publicity for my upcoming book, my about to be printed book, is that I think it's really important for us to keep the priorities in order, that the priority is living a life filled with more love, acceptance, understanding, response, seeing, having a life filled with more love than it is about dogma. And that we often think that the dogma is the most important part, and it's not. Here in other announcements, this is not a real book. That is a real person in the background, but this is a mock-up of the book. It's coming. I should be having the first official, I should be getting a proof in my hands in the next week or so, and I will show you when that happens. If you have not already signed up to receive an announcement about when the book drops, you'll see that in the email that's coming out on Monday. Other announcements. Oh, this is not an official announcement. I just wanted to share it with you. You are not a machine. Your best will look different each day, and that's totally okay. Can I get an amen on that one?
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. All right. If you would like to be part of the Religion Outside the Box phone, text, email, here we have a contact list. This is not the list. Those are just names of some of the people. I crossed their names out. But if you would like to be able to contact people at this service in between services, in the link in the chat, Maria just posted that. Please put your name and fill out the form, and you'll have access to that list as well. My usual announcement. It's okay not to be okay, which goes to that one. It's okay to admit that we're not okay. And then we can also add in, it's okay that we don't, it's okay to not feel okay. Our society has a lot of pressure. We're supposed to be fine all the time. We're not. It's okay to not be okay all the time. Other announcements. Oh, I'm having a little bit of a hard time with the settings on Facebook to let you know. So if you're on Facebook and you follow me, thank you very much. Weekdays at 2 p.m. Pacific, I lead an online meditation. You're welcome to join me for that. I don't know what's wrong with the Facebook permissions and the settings. It's not notifying everybody when I go live, but it's 2 p.m. I try to log on at least a minute before. I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. If I knew where the source of that problem was, I would fix it. I can't seem to get that going. Other announcement. I did that. Immediately after this service, we go into breakout groups. We have a new group that started last week. Oh, and also if you want to talk about the God word, please put your email in the meeting chat. And someone from the Shekinah group, we have a group who's devoted themselves to talking about the God word. If you want to talk about the God word with some good quality religion outside the box, folks, put your email in the chat, and we will follow up and get you involved in that group as well.
Don't we need to do prayers for people who are sick?
Yes, we do. I want to finish my announcements though. But I think that might have been the last. I feel like there was one more. Shit. No.
So what is the name of the new group, since I'm set?
Oh, that's what it was. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Let me finish that. We have a group called the 5-Minute... Missy, someone help me. What was it called?
Commitment.
The 5-Minute Commitment Group. So in the first 5 minutes of the breakout, you can go to that room and say, hey, I committed to be off social media for at least 2 nights in a row. Or whatever you want to make your commitment. You just go into that room. Missy is volunteered to help be in charge of the room so that there's some voice to keep it ordered. But if you have a commitment you want to make in the spiritual religious world, you go into that room, you say, here's my commitment. And that room is over within 5 minutes, and then you can go join the poetry room or deep dive or the politics room or any other place you want to be. Thank you. Alex, it's called the 5-Minute Commitment Room. You do not need to be there for more than 5 minutes. Great. Any other announcements from anyone? Okay. In that case, Maria, would you read us the list of people for whom we want to say some prayers today?
Mm-hmm. These are the people to whom we are sending light and love. Ken and Joe, Anne, Sheridan H., Peggy and Al, Tane, Chea, Michael and A.B., Somi K., Jennifer Dobbs and the entire Feder family, Amy, Yvonne in spirit and Fran, Janet, Matthew and Sarah, Jolene in spirit, Kathy and Bess, Tina and Josie, Elaine and Nelke, Lynn D, Gloria, Karen K, Jerry, Ruth and Lisa, and Mary.
If there is another person in our community to whom we can offer light and love, please put their name in the chat and I will add them to the list in the clubhouse. And for the people who aren't named, but who are in our thoughts, we send them light and love as well.
Let's take a minute of time starting right now. Just take a minute of time. Well, thank you for that minute. Oh boy. There we are. Okay. So, let me ask. Go ahead, Missy.
Yeah, thanks, Rabbi. I got a little something stirring around in my gut that I just feel like I want to speak into the room. It goes back to what Carol was expressing and that concern about accepting some of what's going on in our world right now that's quite unsettling, to say the least, very frightening. And I just don't want anybody leaving thinking that we shouldn't work against that, and that it's the attitude that we bring to it, I feel, that will make the difference in how successful we are at combating that sort of belief system and actions that some people are taking in the world.
Yeah.
It was just stirring in my gut. Thanks.
Is how we know what we are for, we know what we are against. The question is, how do we go about affecting change? And
absolutely,
I'm going to go back to what Ruth and I were emailing about, is when a 2.5-year-old draws on the wall with crayon, we have to respond as adults do and explain to the child, as you would to a child, what is wrong with what they did. But to scream and to yell, it has its place, but nobody's mind is changed by screaming and yelling. Go ahead, Ruth.
I want to come back to Carol's comment. What happens if the world, our world, says, no, we don't want what you want, and the person it's directed to will not accept?
It's a great question. Right. I don't know that we have an answer to that. I don't know that we have an answer for that. Patience in knowing that the arc of justice the arc of time bends towards justice, knowing that we will overcome, just not quickly.
I think that Anne gave you some answers. She said she's been writing postcards to get people to be sure to vote.
Yeah.
That's something we all can do.
Yeah.
We can send postcards. We can support the candidates we believe in who believe in the values we have.
Right.
It's not, we are not completely sitting here just forming opinions. There are things we can do.
I love that. Jordan, do you have a pitch you can make for us maybe about something we could do?
Always, always. Anybody who wants to work for progressive state legislature candidates, state legislatures is where progressive policy happens. I work with an organization called Sister District. They are wonderful, they are effective, and there are lots of ways to plug in. So I'm going to put the link in here, and I'd be happy to talk to anybody who wants more information.
Thank you, Jordan. Now, there are some people who are on Facebook or YouTube, like Margaret, who just says, I'm not seeing the links. No, you're not seeing the links that are in the Zoom room. That's true. So how do people get in touch? They can go to sisterdistrict.org.
I think it's not, well, let me look. Is it org or com?
Go to Sister District. And if you want, I do phone banking, and it's ridiculous and silly, but it's doing something, and I feel like I'm involved as part of the wave. I might be a small little drop of water, but I'm part of something larger than just me.
Amen.
Thank you for putting it is sisterdistrict.com. Or send me an email, and I'll tell you the next time that I'm phone banking, and you can get hooked up with this jolly group of phone bankers. Okay, that's all good. 4-1 positive, neutral comments for every one critique or criticism. You get a choice for this week. I'm going to give you homework. Here's homework for next week. You have your choice of 2 different assignments. 1, do the 4-1 ratio with someone else. Pick someone who you know has been annoying. The way they hold their spoon is offending you. And figure out how to get 4 neutral to positive comments for every 1 criticism or complaint you make to them. That's option 1 for homework. Option 2 for the homework is do that all on the inside. See if you can't start training your brain. You can't put carpeting on the whole world, but you can wear slippers. See if you can't get towards training your brain towards having 4 neutral to positive comments for every 1 you have about yourself. The other option for homework is just don't do any of it. It's totally cool. I don't do what works. Go ahead, Dolly.
I had a question going back to when you wrote the SAUR.
Yeah.
Forgive my naivety or my lack of is that a Hebrew word? Or is there a significance of SAUR?
Yeah, these are
words that it.
No, it is not an acronym. These are the 4 qualities of love from Dr. Logan Fox. Came up with this behavioralist definition of love. That love is, and I think if you've been coming to these services for a while, you probably know these. The 4 qualities to love are seeing, accepting, understanding, and finally responding. And responding can go in 5 different directions according to Gary Chapman and the love languages. But just knowing that the responding is usually an active action, not just a thought. It's doing something. Thank you for asking, Dolly. Dolly, you get yourself go to the Dollar Tree, buy yourself some gold stickers, and give them to yourself. I love when people ask when they have a question. It's how we learn. It's how we grow. So thank you for putting your voice straight in. All right, folks, I'm going to see if I will fix this screen thing for next week. I can get everybody. There's everyone. Let's say goodbye to our friends who are at home, who are watching. And I'm going to stop the recording. No, I'm not. Hold on. Keep waving.